Okay, so we are in this is Des Plaines, Illinois, and I haven't been here before. It looks like there's a bunch of things here, so I'm trying to take a few things in. But they have a batting cage right here. It says Des Plaines Park District. Welcome to the Mountain View Batting Cages. And this is they have a miniature golf, they have a skate park, they've got a BMX park and batting cages. It's the Adventure Center. So we're looking for those skill spaces, the flow spots, and this. Yeah, a few different options. I think this is going to be one of the places where there's a lot of different places that are possible. So, as you can see, there's a really large field that doesn't look like it's a baseball field or even a soccer field, although there's the soccer nets right there that can be taken out. So yeah, I'm going to stay closer to the skate park, as we do, and here is a view of the batting cages. And it's chilly, it's 25 degrees or so. And down there, here's a kind of maybe hard to see it from here, but it's the Old Plains Mining Company general store, so that's the entrance to the mini golf over in that direction. Here is some grass right here. This, it looks like it's out of the way actually from the batting cages. So that might be something there. One of the more a spot that would be out in the open. And let's see what we have for the nice picnic area up there, even a grill. Okay, Mountain View Adventure Center. Des Plaines, Illinois, Park District, Adventure Mini Golf, batting cages, skate and BMX park, birthday parties. It says birthday parties. Haven't seen that one before. Caution when skating, skateboarding and BMX riding are high-risk recreational activities with inherent risk of serious injury. Users of the facility must wear protective equipment such as helmets and elbow pads. This facility is not supervised. Participants should use the facility at their own risk. Skaters, BMX riders are responsible for inspecting the facility prior to use. Ensure the equipment is in good condition. Do not use the equipment if it is wet or broken. Contact Park District if the equipment is damaged. There's a number. No personally owned ramp box or other devices may be brought into the facility. The following types of equipment are allowed: skateboards, BMX bikes. So I don't see scooters and I don't see rollerblading. So those evidently are not allowed in the park. Competitive events and demonstrations require the special approval. The glass objects and the containers are not allowed in the facility. Please use proper trash receptacles. Smoking is prohibited in the park and within 50 feet of the entrance. Please are courteous to all users of the facility. In an emergency call, 911. Video surveillance in use on these premises. This area is under video surveillance. That, I think, is a new one. The surveillance. We haven't seen before on any of those signs. And I think that's... And birthday parties, I guess, are relatively new. I haven't seen those before. I think everything else we've more or less seen in other places. Okay, let's head in. So we got a nice picnic table. Now I don't remember if it's, let's go back for a sec. Well, it does kind of say, it says the following types of equipment are allowed: skateboards, BMX, bikes. So they've got train tracks right nearby, Union Pacific. I guess my question would be is, if you set up and start juggling here, or in this kind of area over here, they did say only skateboarding and BMX bikes, but does that mean only on the concrete itself? Because usually when we're at a park like this, we can do some juggling nearby. So that's just something to keep in mind if you were to do some skills in this area right here. Is it technically allowed or not? And so I would just be concerned, or just I would be, I'll just be watchful of that if I were to do that. Someone were to say, hey, we don't want you juggling over here. To be ready to pack up and go. I think that hill over there is not going to be so good for juggling anyway. And let's see what the park is like. Maybe there's some other areas that would make sense. They wouldn't want to be doing the skill stuff, the skill and the juggling, not on the park itself. This is definitely a park area. We have a street course, get your quarter pipe, go into the ramps, the rails, and another ramp over here. Looks like this is made out of, looks like masonite actually, with some other type of composite and metal coping. Okay, well, so they actually split this up. It says the skate park is over on that side, and the bike park is over on this side. So, I've seen this before where they literally have two separate parks. The one that we saw in Highland Park was, they called it a wheel-friendly plaza. And, so the bikes and the skateboards shared the space. It looked like even based on the hours of the day, that was interesting. But this one, I guess they have two separate parks that are next to each other. They also have a lightning warning over there. I think they're similar. You can see maybe a little more wear and tear from the bikes. The bikes just seem to, when they have those metal pegs, they kind of rip into the, obstacles a little bit more. So here's where the sidewalk ends over here, and this is sort of fenced off. And yeah, you got your train crossing, the railroad crossing two tracks, as you can see. So yeah, and the mini golf is right over here too. So a better view of the mini golf that they have. And this is my first time here. I think I've passed by a couple times, but I didn't really see all the stuff. It's a little bit like tucked back, especially the skate park. The other part of this, and the bike park. The other thing is that when you look on Google, it doesn't really, you have to zoom in to kind of confirm that there actually is a skate park here. So I would consider this to be a little bit more like a harder one to find unless you kind of hear about it. Unless you know that it's here. It's kind of hard to just find because if you click on the wrong button, button on Google, it'll take you to the Des Plaines park, like the Park District Rec Center, and not the skate park, or maybe it'll take you to the mini golf. And if I remember correctly, the skate park, it doesn't actually say skate park. So it's like one of those things where you kind of have to zoom in on the map. I like the park, and it looks to be to have some good elements. And but yeah, as far as like the skill here in the park, it looks like really the only spots would be like right here. So I guess it's kind of like if you came to skate a bit and you brought some juggling clubs and some juggling balls, that you could kind of, I'm guessing, hang out here a little bit until like someone were to say something. I don't know if they would. If anything, that they probably think like that's pretty cool. This little area has like is a little bit like domed. It's a little bit of a very small hill over in that direction. And this is on it's sort of on a slope grade as well. But I feel like the footing is fair enough. And we can find some spots like over here like that's away from the trees and also away from the skate park. We'll tuck back a bit, so that might be a nice place just to you could do kendama. I think one of the reasons people are into kendama is because it's compact and it doesn't necessarily roll away from you, and you can kind of do it like in a small space basically. Whereas three balls you can do out in about a similar space, but depending on what you're juggling, they can roll away. Yo-yo might be a little bit more space, but relatively compact. But once you get into a lot of the hoop stuff, like the flow stuff with the hoops and the poi and staffs, I mean that starts taking up more and more space. Juggling clubs take up more space. Like if you're going to do rolla bola, kind of takes up some space. And yeah, so that's like sort of always a factor is how much space you're taking up with your skill toy practicing and stuff. So yeah, I mean you could easily have 2 or 3 people right here doing kendama, but if you're doing clubs, now you're kind of limiting it maybe down to 2 people over here. You know, so you can make what you the room that you need. And of course, then the other thing is that you don't have to be in the skate park. There's a ton of area and spaces in other places in this park, but it is one of those places, as I said before, that is a little bit off the beaten path. I would describe it as you kind of need to search it a little bit more. And then another kind of thing is if once you arrive, like if you're like, hey, let's go juggle, I'll meet you over at the Des Plaines by the mini golf and the Adventureland. Like that's more specific. But then if you're like, let's say there's a whole bunch of people skating, you don't want to be in that little area, then you might run out to someone else in the park, but then it's like, well, it's harder to describe where that is. And I remember on a few occasions where I've wandered around parks trying to find the spot that people were talking about to meet up to juggle and stuff. So it's just it's not a major concern. And usually, obviously, if you once you kind of find that spot and you're juggling with the same people, the next time then it's like, I need that spot. So, but yeah, I mean, right there, probably not so much. Over here, we got these hills, probably not so great over here. And now we're also like, we're out of view of the skate park, which is pretty easy because the skate park, as I said before, is pretty tucked back. So, it's just that much easier to kind of lose sight of it when you walk in another direction. And so yeah, I'm not even seeing some good spots here because of this hill, so it doesn't really it's not little hills and stuff. It makes it a little bit harder to do the flow and stuff whenever you have a area that is not level ground. But here's this area over here by these trees seems pretty reasonable. You got a park bench kind of thing. Let's see what the sign says. Soccer field rules. Use of the soccer field is by permit only. The park district reserves the right to clear the field of use at any time. Do not remove anchors or remove soccer goals. Illinois Statute 430 ILCS 145.1, also known as Zach's Law. Zach's Law has to do with not removing anchors or removing soccer goals. Zach's Law requires all soccer goals to be securely anchored at all time. Removal of anchors and moving the goals is strictly prohibited. Violators may be subject to fine or arrest. For permit information, call the number for programs and events. Visit DPP Parks. Displays parks.org. dpparks.org. So this is a soccer field then. I don't think that there's going to be a problem coming out here and juggling, doing some flow space out here. In fact, this spot kind of area might be pretty good. As I'm walking back, I'm getting a little bit more of a grade, so I'm increasing my elevation seapoint a bit. So just keep that in mind in this area. But I think that's a pretty decent spot. And if you're not, the only thing with that is your garbage can coming near. So maybe it's something open. Like just right in here. You can't play it. See what is available. There's your field. And watch out for the geese have left there. Not as much as that other field, but the geese have been here. And they're over there, see? You know they're here. So that may, having some geese droppings is also less desirable. As shoes may have geese in them. Also, you don't want to drop your equipment in stuff like that either. So these are some of the hazards inherent in some spaces. But nevertheless, it's a good chance you'll be able to find something that works. I kind of like this general area here. Like around, I think the geese like it too. But this general area, I would say, because there's not going to be any soccer play over here. And these trees kind of give a little bit of a boundary. So I think that this spot right here is something to try. Get your skills going. And I'm sure if explore more parts of the park, you'll also find other areas that would work just as well. Of course, the thing is, you're moving further and further away from the skate park, makes it harder to, for people to find where you are, and you lose that connection with the skateboarders or the bikes, as it were, that they may be interested in what you're doing, and you also might want to skateboard as well. So, just that factor. But yeah, finding a good skill spot. All right, well, it is cold, and I think that's it for this area. The Mountain View Adventure Park in Des Plaines, Illinois, western suburb, and we'll Alright, so yeah, this is the Mountain View Mine. So it's a mine. It's a mine-themed adventure golf. Mountain View Mine Adventure Golf. So this is like a mining company. That's the theme that they've created here. And the batting cages. And the skate park. All these things going on in the Des Plaines Park District park here. Alright, that's all. And until next time.